Have you ever paused in the middle of a normal day and suddenly remembered you were going to die? Not someday far away, but inevitably, unavoidably. It doesn't matter what you own, who loves you, or what you've built. Death comes quietly, always. Most people don't want to think about it. They distract, they chase pleasure, they stay busy, very busy, because if they slow down, they might hear it, the quiet echo of impermanence. But what if instead of running from death, you leaned into it? What if you looked it in the eyes not to surrender, but to understand? The ancient philosophers did. The Stoics meditated daily on death, not morbidly, but wisely. Remember, you will die, they whispered, not to scare, but to awaken, because only when you understand that your time is limited, do you truly begin to live. Let that sink in. Everything you're worried about right now, someone's opinion, a missed call, a deadline, all of it will fade, and so will you. But that isn't a curse, it's a compass. You see, death is not the opposite of life, it's a part of it, a thread woven into every decision you make. To deny it is to live a shallow copy of what life could be. But when you accept it, life becomes sharp, real, awake. You realize, this moment, right now, is not a rehearsal. This breath is not guaranteed, and that gives everything weight. That conversation you've been avoiding, that dream you keep postponing, that apology you never gave, they're not just items on a list. They're pieces of a life you may not get another chance to finish. Carl Jung said, "A man who has not passed through the inferno of his passions has never overcome them." And perhaps death is the final fire we must walk through to burn away all that's false and finally see what matters. Because death asks the question nothing else does. What are you doing with the time you have? Not the time you hope to have, the time you actually have, right now. But most people wait. They wait for signs. They wait for permission. They wait for the right time that never comes. Until life itself stops waiting, until a diagnosis, a goodbye, a final breath. And then, in that moment, you feel it's a terrifying realization that the life you wanted to live was always just a decision away. Memento mori. Remember, you must die. Not to be frightened, but to be free. Because death, strange as it sounds, is not an enemy, it is a teacher, a mirror, a reminder that this all ends. So you'd better choose what's worth beginning. When you see life through the lens of mortality, pettiness fades. Ego fades. The need to prove, to impress, to win every argument fades. You begin to live for truth, for depth, for presence. You begin to listen more, love more, forgive more, because now you know, everyone you love is dying too. So the time for resentment is over. The time for withholding affection is over. This is not forever. It never was. But don't mistake this truth for sadness. In fact, it's the opposite. When you stop pretending that everything lasts, you finally start treating things as sacred. You slow down, you taste your coffee, you watch the sunrise not because you have to, but because you can. That's the beauty mortality brings. Urgency, gratitude, real presence. The philosopher Heidegger called it being toward death, a way of living where death is not denied but accepted as part of who we are, and in doing so we become more human. So I ask you, what are you holding back for? What truth do you keep buried, waiting for the perfect moment? What love haven't you expressed? What dream have you locked away, telling yourself someday, because someday might never come, but this moment is here, and you are alive. So live not someday, now live with courage, with honesty, with urgency, because one day someone will speak your name for the last time, and all that will be left is the impact you made on hearts, on lives, on the world around you. Death doesn't ask for permission, but it does offer clarity, and in that clarity we find the freedom to choose what truly matters. So choose wisely, choose love, choose truth, choose peace, because one day your time will run out, but today you're still breathing, and that means you still have a chance.